I know it's been a while, but I wanted to talk about something. And excuse me, this is a rather impromptu session, so it's going to be a little rough. I'm going to put up my little sound blanket here, so hopefully it sounds a little better, but maybe it won't. Who knows? But I'm going to leave that one open because I need my window light right now. I want to talk about, well, being wrong. I talk about that a lot, but hey, as a parent, it happens a lot. And so I was talking with my sister about parenting and some of my philosophies, and I was thinking about just how wrong it is easy to be on when you're parenting, and you find out, if you're paying attention, if you're open to being wrong, you'll see that you're wrong a lot with a kid because they give you feedback. You think that you can do something to get them going in a particular direction, and then they go in the other direction. You're like, oh, that didn't work. Now, I want to talk about specifically about good and bad, and how we try to influence that, and how it might backfire. Now, okay, so we want what is best for our kids, right? That's an easy one. But how to get what is best for our kids, and knowing what that even is, those are harder. And something that I find ubiquitous in our culture is this idea of feeling like we need to praise our children in order to prompt them into better behavior, right? This is just universal now as far as Western culture. Like, everyone praises their kids with the intent of guiding them into good behavior. Good behavior. And that might seem like an obviously correct strategy. And if you're thinking, well, duh, yeah, if they do something good, I praise them. That's how you end up with a good kid. If you're thinking that, yes, awesome. That's who I want to talk to. And I want you to go on a little journey with me. Just to go on take a risk and consider that might be wrong, that it might not accomplish what you want to accomplish. And here's what I'm thinking. Praise is kind of similar in a way to punishment, in that it's the other end of a spectrum of trying to influence another person, right? If you have a kid that does something that you don't like, you might punish them to try and discourage that behavior. And if they do something you do like, you might praise them, like, yes, good job. Oh, that was so nice. Thank you. That kind of thing, right? But in either case, I think there is an implied message there that is, the way you are is not okay, and I want you to be something different. And you might think, okay, duh, like, that's the point of praising and punishing, right? Is to guide them in a more desirable direction. So what's the problem with it? Well, if the message that a child receives is, you are not correct, I think there's a risk there that becomes part of their identity. That, oh, I am wrong. Not what I did was wrong, but I am wrong. And maybe if I were different on a fundamental level, if I were different, maybe mommy and daddy would love me more. And if that seems like a stretch, I just want you to consider the idea of, like, what punishment is. Punishment, in a way, depending on how you do it, is a withholding of love. It's like, I am going to stop loving you until you be the way that I want you to be. Like, go into timeout, Or I'm going to be really mad at you and I'm not going to be loving and affectionate toward you until you re-enter conformity or obedience. And that's a weird thing, because that means that your love is transactional. It means that you're making a deal with your kid, like, hey, be the way I want you to be, and then I'll love you. And if you're not the way I am, I'm gonna be less loving towards you. I'm gonna be stern, and I'm going to be mad at you, maybe, right? And I think praise is similar. Praise works in a very similar way. If you do this thing that I like, I will give you lots of love. But if you don't do that thing that I like, I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to put love out for you. And in either case, that tells a kid, I think that tells a kid who you are on an instinctual base level is not good. It's like giving them the message that their first instinct on whatever topic it is wrong, which is a judgment on them. They'll take it that way, I think. That if you say, hi cat, if you say, that was really good, I love that, you're so kind, and whatever it is, you're trying to praise them. I think that's telling them that the way they were before they did that thing was not good. And that you run the risk of a child then trying to be a certain way. This cat. I need to close my door now. Well, the fucking hat. The thing that I'm trying to avoid here is a people-pleasing adult. Like a child that turns into a people pleaser. A child that thinks, I need to be a certain way in order to receive love. The way that I am naturally is not deserving of love. Because as an adult, hi cat, you can go through a lot of therapy trying to relearn how to love yourself as you are. Like you can spend a lot of time and money trying to figure out how to allow yourself to be loved, to really feel like you deserve love. And oh man, I want my kids to believe on a cellular level that they deserve, that they are deserving of love, that they're worthy of love, so that they can love themselves and they can receive love from people who would like to love them. Oh, cat. This fucking cat. Now that opens up a lot of questions. Any parent that's watching is like, yeah, but what about X, Y, and Z? And there's a lot to talk about there. But I just wanted to get that one thought out of, do you think a human child is intrinsically good just by their nature? Or do you think that by their nature they are bad and need to be corrected? Those are two sides of a parenting debate that I think is fascinating, because I could be totally wrong. In fact, historically, I am totally wrong. You go back far enough and I'm wrong all the time. So it makes it fun though. It makes it interesting. And I'm trying to be less sure of myself, So maybe I'm wrong, but maybe praising a kid makes them feel bad in a way. They feel good in the moment, but they also feel like, I have to do it this way in order for my parents to be happy with me. And that right there, that's a people pleaser in the making. And being a recovering people pleaser myself, you know, I'd like to spare my child that. I'd like them to kind of skip over being a people pleaser and instead be themselves. So, okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, because I have things to do. I got a lot to do. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you next time.